There is nothing, only warm primordial blackness. You're conscious ferments in it, no larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore. Ever. Never, ever. An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it.
An awareness creeps up on you. A mass lies hidden in your dead angle, soaking in some lurid acidic source. It's bloated and shameful, a ball of meat surrounding you. This is a terrible line of questioning, and it will only lead to more awareness of the meat thing.
Ex-love, ex-tenderness. It is foolish of you to resurface to the loss. Not after all the damage you've suffered to get here. Some of it irreversible. Stay. Sail with me through the abyss of pelagic zone. Alright, nothing town to fuck all borough. Great choice, Elder One. It has always been like this, and it always will. The song of death is sweet and endless. But what is this? Somewhere in the sore, bloated man meat around you. A sensation. Like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again. It wants to walk the desert, hurting, longing, dancing to disco music.
You can take it. You're a champion.
The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, an ungodly headache. A fiery streak penetrates your skull, trying to force your eyes open. It's a sound, a clarion call.
Somehow, you know what it is. A caprice committing a motor carriage. A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, hot water sprays from the base and steam covers the mirror. Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there, underneath the soft vapor. As you slowly abort, you clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see there, and you will never unbecome it. Behold. You have no idea who this thing is, do you? Too late. You clearly have rigor mortis on your face. Or wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face? Why? Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself. You can't, can you? What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey? You should check yourself for a pulse, because from here it looks like a cadaverous spasm. Good call. Go ahead and try something if you like. Or, stop staring into the mirror. You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flip. It says, whirling in rags, on the aluminium keyring. There is a... The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside. A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but more likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact. It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture, like the green shoe that's on the hat rack in the corner, which, congratulations, you smashed the window with your own shoe. Now you only have one. If the cool wind gushes in, your toes curl up from the cold. This fan has two chain pull switches. One, or has it been consigned there as punishment? You feel as though this creature is your friend and wants to reattach itself to your neck so that you may continue your adventures together in this strange world. The blades come squeaking to a halt. It should be easier to reach the tie now. A terrible mistake. Turn the lights off immediately. You can practically feel the lights are off. You swoop up and catch the tie. Snap. It's released from the blade. Warning, warning. What you have in your hand is a fantastically colorful tie with 4 or 5 different patterns. If it's your friend, why was it up there? Who ties their friend to a ceiling fan? An ominous, foreboding feeling fills you as you look at the tie. There they both are, 2 identical shoes, like 2 baby crocodiles. Good, they're balanced, comfy.
Hello, officer.
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips. A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting. That was disdain in his eyes. Even now he's purposely ignoring you.
Oh no, you're a hero. A real hero cop.
Could the massive property damage upstairs have anything to do with this?
Am I? Or did you ride in, take the body down, solve the murder, and not trash my hostel room? You're right, you didn't, and it's only taken you 3 days not to. No, I haven't seen you around. I'm not always here.
A competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used. This is the great skua. The seabird is the symbol for the discovery of the Insulindian Isola, the part of the world you are in right now. Something about it makes you feel bitter.
Look, your buddy is over there. Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
He pretends not to hear you, concentrating on the bird instead.
No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager. I have 3 cafeterias to manage. 3. Sylvie tends the bar here, not me. I'm only She just, you know.
His eyes dart from left to right. This man isn't lying, but he is hiding something.
So now you're a cop. Oh, forget it. What kind of question is that?
He rolls his eyes. A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone. As you approach, if an assault were launched on this building right now, if the windows came crashing down and the whole world descended upon you, this man would hurl himself in death's way to save you. You are sure of this, but why?
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Prison 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he's waiting for your name. This is your chance to come up with a really good name for yourself. Get creative. Conceptualize. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. You instinctively run your hand over the
Don't worry! Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau is one classy name for...
Yes, well...
Not for a moment does he believe that's your real name. He casts it aside as an intra-departmental joke. Or
It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager?
what he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area. Now that I'm here as well. It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews? At the 57th, we like to prepare an initial list of persons of interest, and then just skim the surface. Prepare the field, get to know the players. You don't do that? Maybe it's not an inter-district practice. Good. But even if you haven't, we'll have time for that after we take... Have you removed the dead body from the tree? So,
This is the first time you detect a weariness in the lieutenant's voice.
where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner. I can see you drank last night and the night before, and that you are still drunk now. But if you need something for your headache, there is a general store nearby. But as I said, the dead body should be our #1 concern. Talk to the manager. Then we go out back and take the body. After you, officer.
If you're about to embark on an investigation, shouldn't you have a badge?
You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge missing.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is now in your...
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. And have you found anyone to be sweet to? I'm sorry if I was being overly... You must forgive me. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Of course, dear.
The man with the unimpressive...
Mr. Gart, right?
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41? Right. Now, I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene. It also took you a while to call us and report the dead.
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works...
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
You said you just got here.
What, of Martinez? No. I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on...
But you still know your way around.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here.
I didn't imply that. Detective.
He probably means this is where you step in and ask your questions. His face expresses profound doubt. Ask him about the body's location before asking if he killed him. People give up information in the more innocuous questions, which you can later use in the more sinister ones, not vice versa.
Haven't you asked me that already? What is it with you and this woman? She has nothing to do with this. Okay, you got me. She went away because of the dead body out back. And because I asked for her number. That's why Sylvie went away. I hope you appreciate that.
Thank you.
I asked an employee out. She didn't want to come, but felt obliged to. It was a bad idea. Now, what is so goddamn fascinating about that for you? It's got nothing to do with the lynching. Good for you. Was there something else? I'd like to get back. Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there. That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then to your right, you should see a big hole in the fence. A really big one. You can get to the courtyard through there. No need for the keys. The hole is big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry to fit through.
Does he want you to feel guilty of making that hole? It's implied in his voice.
I don't know who killed him.
This is it. He said they hoisted him up on a tree. Who is this they?
Oh, people are saying it was the union dock workers, that it was a lynching. The locals, the customers, the people who eat here, a lot of dock workers eat here. Sylvie told me every...
Did the debarders themselves tell her this?
I don't really know. You'll have to ask her. I would suppose it's because they have nothing better to do.
You mean the strike?
Yes, the strike. The man they hanged was a security guard for the harbour company, I hear. A mercenary. The unionistas probably thought they'd send a message.
The lieutenant turns the page.
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130, Ray.
No one is saying the multi-pattern necktie you found tied to the ceiling fan can talk.
Let's bail! Time to push the eject button! Sounds like a responsibility! You don't like those!
Oh, excuse me. You owe me 130 Ray.
The IIR, or Inter-Isolary Real, is the global reserve currency. Whatever.
Wow, you're a genius. Yes, that's right. Money.
Who does that clown think he is? Arrest him! No one is saying that! No one is saying that Ty can talk! That would be ludicrous! It's just that you should arrest him! It would be wiser! He wants to take your money!
The lieutenant looks at you tugging on your garish tie.
If you don't have the money, it's okay. None of us are in.
That's cop 4. I haven't offered to pay because I don't have any money either.
Let's see. 3 nights at a tariff of 20 Real comes to 60 Real. Then there's the window you annihilated. The hole in the window was the first thing I saw when I came to work. So don't try to tell me you didn't. Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 Real. Actually, more, but we'll round it down to 30 for your hard work maintaining the stability and order of Revachol. That's 60 plus 40 plus 30 equals... What are you, a philosopher? Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room or 8 bottles of potent blend.
There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant Kitsuragi looks for something in the pockets of his orange box.
I'm sorry, but he has to pay. I can't let him stay here any longer if he doesn't. If he doesn't have the money by...
Officer, maybe you are better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away. No, don't. There's no need. You really need to take this up with your state.
Good luck.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank, but you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere. In time or space? That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money. You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. Maybe a street or an apartment.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with? We don't see a lot of police around here, that's all. Of course. What can I... Of course. Where to? Oh, that's right there, in the...
She's relieved someone has come for it, finally.
What do you mean? We're in Martinez, sir. This intersection is called Roundabout North, I think. The harbor gates? Some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow. There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenants, some shops and a bridge, the canal just coast. There's a little fishing village. It's just water. No, actually, I think no problem. Of course, I want...
Her gloves. You get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with after all.
Sure, keep them. I have another pair.
Yes?
No response. He's having trouble processing it, believing it even. A moment passes.
What do you want to know? Maybe you can tell me what you do know. Then you are not that far behind, actually. Do you want me to brief you? There's no reason to wing anything. 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said that during that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor. They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The Dock Workers Union is the de facto police in Martinez. That's us, the Revachol Citizens Militia.
The RCM, or the Revachol Citizens Militia, is the police force you and him are part of. A self-organized peace corps of the occupied city of Revachol. The RCM operates within a legal...
Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer. Good.
Before you stands a vapor emanate. This must be the infernal machine that tore you from oblivion.
Kuno's got this.
If there ever was such a thing as an ugly kid, then this is it.
Oh yeah, nappa gumpy, Kuno!
Can't talk, pig. Shit's coming up strong.
Shit coming up strong. That sounds good. Joyous. You should hang out with this kid. I mean drugs. The kid's on drugs.
Yeah, Kuno, ride the lightning, kid!
Kuno's riding at sea.
The rake, Kuno! You should throw the rake at him!
The fuck does Kuno know what a rake is? Kuno's not a gardener. All right, entertain the Kuno. Show me what you got. What you got there? What you got, huh? Show me what you got. Shitload, pig. What's your question?
Don't tell the pig shit, Kuno!
If I were to want to waste my time, which I do not, I would ask them who he is, how...
The usual being. Have you seen anything out of the ordinary? Or have you seen anything suspicious?
Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down. You heard Kuno? Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. Kuno wasn't I don't know. Some fucking Mesk or I don't know. Some other place.
There is no Night City anywhere. That sounds like the name of a city in some pulp science fiction.
Kuno gives this info out on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know.
Kuno didn't smoke the gimp, if that's what you meant.
Thanks, Kuno. That's one name you can now cross off the list.
Kuno's fuck gimp? Kuno uses the fuck gimp.
He's trying to hide the fact that he doesn't know.
Kuno knows what you meant. Kuno's not a snitch, that's all. Trying to make Kuno sing into the popo phone. You're testing Kuno.
Get lost,
Right, pig? This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. What do you want with it? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno doesn't
The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in even through your clenched nostrils.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
There he still is. Look, as you breathe in, the odor comes over you. It's a smell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your hands at your sides and your eyes squinting, you stand in it.
They do after 7 days, yes.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enamel boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoo.
We should have a look at that belt before we even consider taking him down. It looks worrisome.
The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under 6-rotor airships.
Airlifting. I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them. The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves. I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed. A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory. The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, his corpse is marked by stars. Alcohol and heartbreak.
A map of the stars. I do see...
As if someone left out most of the night sky, filtering it through personal choice. The principle of this filter...
So am I.
He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a...
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck?
An instant color camera. I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper.
In case we need it. Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it? It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter. To us. Someone should decipher. Sure. Just don't lose it.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as...
You've acquired an interactable item.
The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots. Ceramic plate, zirconium dioxide, most likely. This under the heel. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
A small bell-like sound fills the air.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate, dissipating it entirely.
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These like whirls of floorboards. The design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps. If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-sections would look like. The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnection. The whorls are in the shape of a letter and number combination. E50, 100, 1000.
Good. Can you read it to me? We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us. Piece by piece. He's been out here for 7 days. We should keep a lookout for these pieces. The armor could yield information. Maybe he'll know something. No, he must have worn something precious underneath his clothes. They've removed all his clothes to get to it. They did not just strip him for the putrid rags. They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta madre, the Mazda, the Besmerties and the like. This one still has...
Fucking talking about...
Clearly, Kuno would like to interject something here, but there's not enough for him to hold on to.
That's for us to find out. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the harbor company. This confirms my own assumption. I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford. It is. It's expensive. We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. For a full set, about...
For the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real, unadjusted for rank.
Not too much, yes. It's a sorry situation, I agree.
This feels dangerous. Are you sure? The stench fills your nostrils.
Stop!
Pig's gonna pull his...
Brutal! What's wrong with you, asshole?
I don't know, baby.
Officer, if I may ask, what were you trying to achieve by putting on the deceased?
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt. His torso covered. His eyes are dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic...
I'm gone. I'm a joke. Look at me. There is nothing funny about a killer, a motherfucker, and a killer. Go ahead, Coppo. Into the wild pale yonder, In the past. Way out. What do you mean? It's the power of your magic.
Yeah, man! Don't be crazy! Inanimate objects and dead people can't really talk to you. Your wild imagination is doing this. Ask some more of those questions you love so much.
He loves those. Do I remind you of someone?
A child born with Muller's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
There you go. Look at that bright kid. We're birds of a feather, you and I.
Feeling nausea, vomiting, tenderness or pain around the liver area, tiny red lines on the skin above waist level, more like days, Coppo. The clock is ticking. Your liver tells you so.
Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Here you go, you loony. Fuck no. You're no Rooney. Between you and me, your name is probably... You can be anything you want, brother Coppo, because you have. Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and...
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent... This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death? Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears...
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid.
So, what do you think? Agreed, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digest.
The fuck he's saying?
Talking about shit.
Maybe. I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents...
Stop talking in riddle.
He means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal-like.
But there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver.
Of course. You come back late.
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos. As you narrow your eyes, this is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood's only the lower extremities. The cadaver slowly...
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt.
He doesn't actually think the challenge is unique. He thinks it's frustrating, annoying, and harder than he thought.
The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material. Climb up there and saw the branch? There has to be a less risky way, with less falling down of trees.
Yeah! Bang bang time, pigs!
How?
Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch. That's a good spot to aim.
Where? Ah, yes, I see. If the shot hits that, there might be a chance to release the...
Yeah, now we're talking.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss, Kuno!
I'll blow his head off.
Take it!
Yeah, take the...
Silence. With his elbow and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks. That's a Kiel A9090 Armistice, mass-produced. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke.
God damn it.
He feels bad about it. About his eyes, mostly. Just having bad eyesight.
Fucking...
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he? Kuno's sorry too.
The lieutenant doesn't say a word, just looks at the gun in his hand.
No, we are lucky as it is. Any more mistakes could put us in an unfortunate position with the locals. We have eyes on us. I didn't do us any favors with that. I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance. I was really hoping we wouldn't. The Union appeared to be suspect in this case. It seems like a dangerous route to go down.
But what other options? The corpse twists on the belt, like chicken on a skewer.
Someone else? You mean like the police? Someone like a paid garbage man? Or a cleaning crew? I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't. We are not getting him down already. Not getting him down is a task that...
How do you plan to get him down, then? With social sensibility? Are you going to...
It's bad as it is. Us shooting firearms like punks here.
They only have...
Oops.
This is the...
Officer, why do we only have one gun? That is even more unfortunate than the badge. You need to contact your station about it as soon as possible.
We're not off to a good start. This missing gun business is making you...
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana pointer! Take it and shoot yourself!
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprised.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno?
The buckle comes into...
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
Your field of view narrows. The slow movement of the branch in the wind and your shoulders.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
A plume of smoke erupts from the barrel. Your hand goes numb from the explosion. With your ears still ringing, you missed the belt, but hit the corpse straight in the chest. Bits of ribcage protrude from the skin. No blood. Only...
Oh my god, he's gonna fucking cry! I knew it! What a mulko!
I agree. Police work is overrated. It is trying and stressful. However, it is still our job to...
It's not the gun's fault you can't...
Pigs don't have hands. They have, like...
Kuno has hands. Kuno can shoot that shit down for you.
That's preposterous!
We still need to get him down, somehow. The bad way. The way I didn't want us to. By asking the harbor for help. From the gates, by negotiating, or...
To the gates. Let's negotiate. There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here. Maybe more than 12. No. 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth. 1. Standard work boot. 2. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced. 3. Hobnailed work boot. Steel reinforced toe. 4. Standard work boot. Number 45. You don't know. It's a miracle you can tell the prints apart as it is. 5. Another standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. 6. An aberration. Light as air. Even pace. Impossible to tell. Could also have been an adolescent. You're not bad. It's as if the whole world darkens. Everything else has a thin film of a... 7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot. Number 46. But the imprints are twice as deep as the others. The 8. And yet another standard work boot. Number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole, however. The right sole is smoother, more worn.
How many? I was pretty off then. I counted 20. I never got the hang of it. Hyperopia. Do you see anything out of the ordinary? $200? Could it be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up?
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Possibly, yes.
But why?
Yes, they could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows. Even easier to carry on a stretcher, or between 2 men. Anyway, it's for future consideration. A woman or a kid? Understood. Anything? A woman? Okay.
He knows it's hard to discern sex from a person's gait.
Understood. Anything else? Interesting. Let's name it the odd soul. Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor. Or maybe a drummer?
He regrets it the moment he says it.
I don't know why I said that. We are not looking for a drummer. We are looking for a group. Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out their right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right.
He doesn't seem to hear you. Looking south, toward the traffic jam.
We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no? A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided...
It is not impossible.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state.
The pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out. Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in. I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
I come from the woods, Guttavitu. You don't want to go there with me. You don't want to see what I...
Don't be traumatizing here. Get...
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid, there's something in there, not necessarily connected to the case, but still. The body is downwind from here. Maybe you prefer the smell of garbage to the smell of death.
Trash? Food waste from the cafeteria? They lock these containers to keep the derelicts from flocking in. What do you mean, feel? We could try using a pry bar. There's one in my motor carriage, or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one.
He might also have information. Old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Can I help you? Mine? No, it belongs to the...
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't...
I thought as much. And
Well, yes. Us and the garbage...
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Prod at him and find out.
What do you need them for?
it concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please. What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders.
He hates the Union, but grudgingly recognizes its power over him. So he's directing his frustration at you instead. Retaliate.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept. Just making clear you got that.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in...
Hello again, sweetie. Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad. Oh my. You know where we are, right? That's right. And where is the whirling in rags cap? Yes, indeed. We are in the fine city of Revachol. How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you there. But
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Nope, sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition.
meaning buying is voting.
Oh dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense, but we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a...
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
You were doing quite well up until the end there. It does look like you're having trouble remembering.
A sigh.
But maybe a fresh defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago. It has something to do with everything.
I'm just a poor woman, she thinks. What do I know of these?
Someone more educated in...
No, I'm not an encyclopedia.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez. Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your...
If she could, this woman would feed and clothe you and every other sad, lost person on this earth. Your deportment remains dignified as you shed a single manly tear.
Sweetie, I only have a few cents on me, but I could give...
Wonderful. He has a pin.
The pin is round and slightly tarnished. 3 sailboats in bas-relief with the sun hovering over the water behind them. A chipped green banner at the bottom reads, San Baptiste, Summer 31, Dinghy Races.
Oh, it's not an ancient family heirloom or anything, but I suppose it would be nice to get it back.
This trash container is locked with a well-oiled crack. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. There is, but you won't like it. Sweat forms on your brow. Your hand is... The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If this, drop them in here, officer. Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or empty. He wore them with a belt, too. The belt is missing. That's it. There is
Something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number.
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's just a...
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash. You see milk and egg rest with one. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Baptiste Soleil cereal. It's just organic waste. Cold, nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging.
Officer, is that your paperwork? It is. Look. The plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? What are you talking about? Doeth thou also thorough inventories? You should take stock of your notes. Make sure it's all there. Official notes contain informants' names. If some of it has fallen into the hands of the RCM's adversaries, it would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what you're eager.
Some items, such as the ledger you found.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's a metaphor. Below the pathetics, terror. Do not. In the back, you see thin, translucent copy of paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official form, then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form. 3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are... You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters. A monetary penalizer, but they appear. These are quite sinister in turn. They give a date. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board, they're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across the entire. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51. This year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. but there are at least 20. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average. There is, for precisely 1 more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. Inspect the get the body, interview the caf. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash, things to be done and things already done.
No, actually. Any ideas? Oh, well, then maybe I can suggest one. The Hanged Man.
He really likes that name.
Thank you. I think so too. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out. Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. 2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. That's okay. We all do, sooner or later.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want. If you want it to be kitchen, it's not though. It's toilet paper. Still wet, the toilet paper, I mean kitchen tissue, sorry, peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off your finger and voila. The ledger now looks arson, petty theft, spousal abuse. Handwritten logs on dozens of investigations date back to January 51. Stamped case files, commit to paper. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples. Arson, petty theft, spousal abuse. Handwritten logs on dozens of investigations date back. You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself. The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet. U4 sized pages hang from the clip, screwed to the top of the board. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular.
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property. Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information...
Maybe yours will have how many how many years you've been on the force.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man. It still kind of looks like a map of the stars in the night sky for you to discover. You've gotten as far as you will without someone who gone.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open. Are you interested in a new and exciting book? It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
A postcard is a small cardboard picture. You can write a few words on the other side. Board games are like little games on a table, made to pass the time.
She is unfazed by your questions. She would consider it impolite to point out any perceived weirdness.
My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know? Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books. My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside, minding the Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers her face, smiling. But she's cold.
Thank you, sir. I'm happy to help Mum out with the store.
Have you no shame?
whining about your back every time you bring out the measure.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never. No, you got this. There's the ball. You're the game. You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter, you'll make it work. The cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it. Already, your muscles are adjusting to the weight. A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything fades and
Merde! Bordel de merde!
a whorehouse of shit. It wasn't whorehouse of shit. The shot was at least 23 meters, probably 24, and then some.
What the hell is your problem? I don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn disrespectful. You vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 bull. Yes, pétanque. You ruined our pétanque.
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it, officer? No harm done.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You owe us a goddamn bull. A fine example you are setting here today, officer.
It's okay, officer. Forgotten completely. It was my bull, and I have a spare.
The lieutenant says nothing, but his face is rigid. It seems it's your refusal to take responsibility I don't like.
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. In Martinez, the union is the law, so can you really blame them? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary,
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not...
'Tis true, sire. He knows. This is a man with a lot of past, but little present, and almost no future. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. A metallic drawer slides.
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be...
He's clearly a little protective of his tools. But what can you do? Work is work. The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, go the cutters in your hand. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering levers and the radio on its hook.
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage. The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The lights unfold with a little click, casting.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp.
There she is.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlight.
Let me see. Right here. No, it does not.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. The first row has 18 dots. The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some. There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. The last row has 3 perforations. That's it.
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers often do. It's meant.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered? No shame in working a regular job, detective. Sometimes after a long day of doing this, I even envy it. This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed? Wow, more than 200! It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers. Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there. For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock Quarter, there are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for. Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective, or self-destructive than others. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies. Why not gardening? You've already got the glow.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab. The lieutenant nods.
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd...
Alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers often do.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered? Fair point. This next row? Wow, more than 200. It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for... Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely... For an RCM officer, especially... There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind... But it seems as though you are, or at least were. Yes.
It's not a problem for him to state it. The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics.